And good morning, good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us. Welcome to Sports Talk. What a morning outside this morning. I speak from a tunnel in the mountains. Laney's coming to fix that fade there a little bit. And Mike's not even on.
No.
There he is. There he is.
That's what it was. You had Mike on. He was picking up David.
So my voice was coming through his microphone. I got you.
We okay now?
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, it sounds much better. And that didn't take long. But beautiful weather outside. A nice, cool, don't get used to it, nice, cool 60. It was in the 50s right at daybreak. I think I saw 57.
Yeah.
No humidity.
Got in the car and walked into the car. Yeah, it felt like early October.
Oh.
Early October morning. That's 5 months away.
Yeah. Well, back when October was in the fall.
Yeah, really. But sometimes it's now summer.
Yeah, it seems like it at times. This past one wasn't as bad as the one before when we stayed in the 90s a lot. But out there today, it's beautiful. You got outdoor activities planned today. It should be a great one. And we know for sure that there is some outdoor activities going to go on in China Grove tonight, as East Lincoln, a winner last night, if you didn't know already, to force Game 3, come from behind with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the lead 6-4 and win that game 6-4 and send the series to a deciding Game 3 tonight at South Rowan High School in China Grove. And, Mike, when it looked like it was just about to be, a done deal, East Lincoln springs to life last night a little bit, getting some finally getting some base hits and 2 more home runs in the game. But
Gavin Smiley, a solo shot, and then I thought really the 2-run homer.
Help me with Smiley's first name.
Graham.
Right. Yeah.
Graham.
Not Gavin.
Right. And then the big 2-run homer by Garrett Michelle in the 5th, I think, really.
It did. Gave him a spark.
And then, as you said, they were able to put together some base hits, mostly singles, sack fly, this and that, and were able to put across 3 runs to take the 6-4 lead and held on in the top of the 7th. Great performance, clutch performance again by Carson Dale. His second straight complete game.
And he did give up, 8 or 10 hits?
He gave up 10 hits.
10 hits. East Lincoln had 8. I knew it was a two-hit difference, but he did
give
up some hits.
He didn't walk a batter.
Right. And that was the key. We talked about that after the game. Not issuing any walks, not giving them free base runners. I just thought that was the key. And they never could put together a big inning. I mean, this team's loaded. I mean, they came in 27-4. It's just their 5th loss on the season. But they never did give up the big inning, and that team probably hasn't been held to 4 runs a lot.
No,
this year. So
he was just able to get key outs, and at the top of the 7th, he struck out the leadoff hitter.
What are you looking for?
Casey Keeley. The number 1 hit at the top.
Yeah, Kepley.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep, Kepley. Yeah,
struck him out and then was able to retire the side in order.
I talked about this a little bit last night and before we went on air this morning. The 9 starters, 7 are seniors, 2 are juniors in that lineup. I think it's the way we finally figured out. And those senior-laden teams usually, when you're good anyway, and you got a lot of seniors, it usually sends you deep into the playoffs. And
but you get the feeling this is their year. Right. They think so anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have a really good tradition. They're going to have some good players step in next year. But yeah, I mean, it's just even though they got the Wake Forest commit back for another year, it's
LeFew.
LeFew. Yep. His first name's not
Hayden
Pepe.
LeFew. No.
It was funny last night, Randy Zipbaum doing the PA. I want to say 172 people came to the press box to tell him how to pronounce that name when he misread it on the thing because what he wrote down was like
Leffen.
Yeah, it had P's in it instead of F.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yep. Everybody wanted to make sure they got their
well, at least half the crowd probably were South Rowan fans. I mean, it was a good
Oh
mix.
yeah, I'm with you on that. At least half,
because they really travel.
They do.
We know those
They do.
Rowan County teams.
Yep. Another night when I arrived, Lenny and I arrived at the ballpark at South Rowan. We got there just right before 6 o'clock. There wasn't a seat in the bleachers.
Ooh,
They were full.
huh.
They were full. I mean,
That tells you something.
yeah. Oh yeah.
They
They
arrived
were
that
there
early.
ready. I knew when I pulled in that little parking lot there. Cars everywhere. And then wound up being down at their place. You know, you had fans standing all the way around the stadium, the complete circle except for center field, because the center field wall is probably 10 feet, 12 feet high, so you couldn't see over it. But it just goes up in center. Everywhere else is low enough that you can see over it. So
Well, there'll be more.
yeah, you got to think
Tonight.
so. You got to think so. A Saturday night, now it's a one-game take-off.
One game take off.
And you got to think that it'll be the biggest crowd of the season that either team has played in
I would think
front
so.
of. Yeah, I would think so too. Other side, South Brunswick's sitting there waiting in the 3A playoffs, so they already know who the opponent will be. You know, we it's just hard to tell about the East teams. We don't follow them enough. We don't know.
We don't get any press on them. We don't read about them.
No, so you know, but first things first, and that's trying to take care of business tonight for East Lincoln, and they've been this far before, but never to a state championship. So got a chance to make it their first if they can pull off the win. And I'm not taking anything away from East Lincoln, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, if they can pull off the upset win, because this team looks better. Just when you watch the team play, they look. You know, like we said, all those seniors on the team coming in with that better record, the top seed. It would be an upset, I think, for the Mustangs to pull it off. And we're expecting, we don't know, Seth Hagler to pitch for the Mustangs tonight. Two things. Well, one thing that does, that weakens your outfield, because he's your center fielder.
Yes.
And he is a great center fielder. He is really good.
He showed that last night with the
center.
diving catch to deprive a guy of an extra base.
And he
hit.
runs down so many really good wheels out there that, a lot of them he don't have to dive for. He just gets a good jump on the ball, reads it well. And
so they're going to lose something
down.
defensively, probably. Well, I'm not going to take anything away from whoever replaces Hagler out there. I mean, there's Mikey Ross. I think
That's who it would be, I think. That's probably who it would be.
He's got some
And I don't
wheels.
know if he moves them around or if he still leaves just inserts him into center. I don't know how.
I got to tell you, got to commend Chris Mathill for the way he's kind of manipulated his lineup in these playoffs.
Last night was totally different.
Totally different.
Last night he just changed it up totally.
Mm-hmm.
He does. I think he will have Armstrong available, who pitched in the first game on Wednesday. He only went 2 innings.
Yeah.
But it don't have anything to do with innings. It has to do with pitches.
He probably threw a lot of pitches in those 2 innings.
I think you have to have the 4 days rest, right? I don't think – well, you don't have to have 4. That's if you pitch 105, okay? Mm-hmm. So then I'm trying to go back and try and figure out where it is that you just have to have – what I'm trying to say is I don't know if he can throw 105 pitches tonight. You know what I'm saying? He might be limited since he threw on Wednesday with that pitch count to how many he can throw tonight.
Well, now, on the other hand, is there any chance East Lincoln could face LeFew, at least for a couple innings?
I would think there, no, because he got so close in the pitch count. He went all 7 innings.
That's right.
I mean, that was,
She had 12 strikeouts.
All coaches all have their own philosophy about this and how they do it. He didn't use up any other pitcher that night.
Oh, that's right.
But he did use LeFew all 7 innings, and I don't know what his pitch count was.
Did it go 7?
6. I forgot. You're right, 6.
Yes,
which still it's just on pitches though, not
Yeah.
innings. It's still on pitches thrown. And my guess is he had to be in the
Well, if he threw 90,
80 to 90 count, which means
15 pitches an inning.
So just say
on a pretty good night.
Thursday and Friday though is all he would have off. And normally you have to have 4. A lower count can get you to 3. My guess is he just can't throw it all tonight, since it's just two full days of rest. So.
But like in the third game of the or deciding game of the series, often all men on deck kind of thing. But certainly that'll be that way for East.
Yep.
Well, except for Carson Dale, he won't pitch.
Yep. 17th home run of the season last night. Mike mentioned it. Garrett Michelle been on 16 a while. He just really hadn't got many pitches. And we were talking about this when he was up there. He was up there. When he hit the home run, there were 2 outs in the inning and a runner at third. Wasn't he at third? Wasn't he at third base, Mike, when he hit the home run?
That's right.
And we talked about it. I said.
And what was the score?
4-1. Mike, was it 4-1?
It was 4-1
when he hit the home run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was a little surprised that they just didn't say, either point him to first or pitch around with first base open. And he made them pay. I mean, he made them pay. They pitched to him and
I think
threw something he could hit a bomb.
A couple of us were talking about that. First base open, just send him on down, and that would get you to the number 2 guy, Trey Spees. And I don't know.
Turn Mike's microphone up, please. He's drifting so much. I can't hear him, so I'm sure that the audience can't hear him either. But
maybe I need to turn up my voice a few decibels. Would that help? Crank up my voice.
Well, you sound like you hadn't quite woke up yet. But but the biggest factor
I usually don't wake up
the
about
biggest
9
factor
a.m.
is you don't face this thing right here that they call a microphone the entire time. And I understand what you're doing. You're looking over here at your book.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna give him a headset.
A headset with the mic on the front.
I need a mic boost.
Lanny, half the time he wears it down here, like he's.
No, I'm gonna get one come across his ear, and it's got to stay here.
Got to stay, okay, because sometimes and they do drift down a little bit. Our headsets now are a little bit worn and they won't stay in place. The mouthpiece won't stay in place. Mine falls every inning.
The Reverend Michael Powell, like you see preachers preaching.
Okay.
There you go.
Are the dimensions at South Rowan, are they similar to East Lincoln? It's not like an overly big stadium or anything.
It's 355 in the power alleys. I would think. I think it's very similar, don't you? I think the layout of the ballpark is not much different.
Well, you showed me a couple of pictures, but
that's right. You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't go. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, to me, I thought they were pretty similar. Oh my gosh! Come on now! Don't give Mike such a hard time. I can hear everyone loud and clear. So.
Who said that?
Rodney Willis.
There you go.
Already up this morning. We didn't have to wait till 8:30.
See, Rodney understands a good voice from a great voice.
Does he?
Yeah.
And?
I'm just saying.
We know where Mike stands, right? All about some Mike. I thought that was just Rick that I had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
all about some Rick himself.
But we know the running joke about good voice, not a great.
I know
voice.
who was it said that we always pick about that.
I know.
I can't remember
who originated that phrase.
I don't know. Plenty to talk about here. We got NBA playoffs. A big win last night from the Miami Heat to win in Boston, forcing a Game 7 that will be in Miami on Sunday. Right, Brett? Is that when it'll be?
As far as I know,
Yeah.
they've been doing every other day the whole series. So
47 points from Jimmy Butler last night. He has become the man in Miami, has he not?
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of come down to when he plays really well, they win. Yeah, he's been a little banged up during the playoffs. A lot of Miami's roster has. Which is why I think Golden State's going to win it all, because both of these teams have had some injury issues to work through,
And for once, the Warriors are healthy.
they are
it
healthy.
seems.
And Boston, this is their second straight 7-game series. If they happen to get out of it, there's going to have a lot more wear on them than Golden State does. And Marcus Smart's been in and out of the lineup, and he's a key piece for them. It's going to be tough for either one of these to beat Golden State.
They're not
in the
going to.
series.
It's not going to be tough. They're not going to.
I don't think so
Did
either.
Golden State win in 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like they won their series in 5.
Yeah, they were up. They went up 3-0. They just kind of gave Dallas Game 4. It was another one of those situations where Dallas, got a pretty good lead. And
Okay. The finals go 2-3-2?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
is it and okay, where's the first two? Is it already
Well, I'd have
set?
to look at the regular season records.
Go ahead,
Based
Mike.
on the record.
What were you going to say, Mike? You already lost it, didn't you?
Or I already lost my train
Maybe
of
a
thought.
great voice, but I don't know about that mine.
Geez.
So Miami and Golden
I do
State,
know now.
Miami and Golden State finished with the same record. So I don't know where it'll start.
I thought they just rotated that part every year.
It's by a better record.
Is it?
If Boston wins, it'll start at Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
But if Miami wins, I don't know.
After
Miami is a 1 seed and Golden State is a 3 seed. I don't know if
that comes into play or not. Yeah.
But they finished 53 and 29, both of them.
I would think if that was the case that you probably should go by where they were seated, you know?
Yeah.
I mean.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
Now, I was just going to say, though, the one award that Steph Curry has not won is Finals MVP.
Okay. So it's all lining up for him, right?
I hope so.
Right here. Starting 5 on that team, Brett, is who? Golden State. Curry,
Thompson, Draymond, Andrew Wiggins, and
Who's the
Looney.
center? Looney.
Looney. I like it.
Joe Don Looney. No, Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney. Or something
Yeah.
like that.
Kevon, I think.
And so,
And then Jordan Poole off the bench plays
a lot.
about as many minutes as a starter.
Okay.
They,
And this is the same Wiggins that was drafted by Minnesota. And
Yep.
yeah.
Same one.
Out of
Finally
Kansas.
coming into his own.
Been around a little bit.
Yeah, he's
Very
been
good
great. He's
defender.
been great in these
Has he?
playoffs. Yep.
He's their defensive stopper.
And was he wasn't – where did he play?
Kansas.
Okay. That's
Well,
what I was –
just 1 year.
You guys knew where I was going to ask.
Yeah.
1 year.
That was pretty good.
1 year at Kansas.
And
he
he's been in the league now, what, 8 years?
Yes,
10?
he has. He's been around.
I mean, yeah.
Drafted in 14. Yep, 8 years.
It goes by quick.
Mhm.
Boy, rarely will I guess something like a number correctly. But
He was the first overall pick by the Cavs, but he was traded on draft night or before the season started. He was traded.
Right. I think it was draft night.
He was traded for Kevin Love.
Yep.
They
Yep.
brought Kevin Love to Cleveland.
Where's he now?
Cleveland.
Still there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still the same Kevin Love?
He's just
Injury prone?
yeah, and not yeah. He's not an all-star level player anymore, but he's still solid.
Is he? 111 to 103 last night. It was a game. I probably watched more of this
finally
one
a
than I
close
watched
game.
a while. Yeah, it was a close game. It was back and forth. Boston was down about 8, I think, maybe to start the fourth quarter, and they made some runs.
Mhm.
And I think the closest they got it, didn't they get?
They took the lead for a while.
Did they take
Yeah.
the lead? Okay,
I think
I couldn't. Yeah, they did.
they might
I
have had a
remember they
10-0 run in there.
I remember they had maybe a 3-point lead at one time.
Yeah.
But Miami hit the bigger shots down the clutch. Boston and I've never seen so many controversial calls in the final 4 or 5 minutes of the game. It was like they'd go and the NBA official getting on. You see his big face on the screen. He's telling you what happened, and you run out of challenges. Boston could have probably got a challenge there. I can't remember what the play was, but there was after they were out of challenges. There was one soon after that they probably could have won with the challenge, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the play was.
There were a lot of block charge reviews.
Yeah. Is that good for the game, though, to review
Not
all,
really.
all
Yeah,
those?
it messes up the rhythm of the game. Yes.
How's the
No.
challenges
I think
work?
I'm not 100% sure. I thought they only got one. Whether you win it or lose it, you only get one. But
Well, I would say if that was the case, I think they would term it they've used their challenge, but they kept saying they're out of challenges, or maybe it's one per half.
yeah,
I don't
it
know.
could be. I wish they would just review the last 2 minutes and nothing else.
just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Brett, I wanted to ask you. I mean, last night's game was fairly close, but why? It seemed like every playoff game this entire run has just been blowouts either way. Game's over in the first half, basically.
My opinion on that is there are no great teams, so anybody's capable of being blown out.
Well, that's happened for sure.
Even Golden State's been blown out a few times.
Mhm.
And I still think myself that once the team gets behind big, they're resting their players.
They are.
Yeah.
We're not coming back. We're going to rest them because we got to try and win the next one. You know,
Mhm, of course.
so that makes it get even bigger.
Yep.
You know, you might turn a 20-point lead into 40.
Yeah.
And we saw some of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've seen that.
Brett mentioned it last week that one of the teams that lost a series won a game by almost 50.
Yeah, Memphis.
Memphis.
You know, say it's got to be what it is. You just get them out and say, you know, come on over here, sit with me, get some
And
rest.
there's been several games where one team just starts out ice cold, like Miami did a couple games ago against Boston. They, it was 18-1, like 8 minutes into the game. They just couldn't score. They couldn't make anything. And I think, Jimmy Butler right now is only capable of playing his best one out of every 2 or 3 games. And they really depend on him to do a lot of their scoring. So it'll be interesting to see if he can come up with another performance like he had last night tomorrow. It won't be easy. I mean, and Kyle Lowry's been really banged up. He played pretty well last night. He fouled out late in the game, but that was probably his best game of the series. I think he had 18 points and 10 assists. But he's really struggled with just a variety of injuries.
Yep. I was sitting there thinking, what a great time for New England sports, right? Celtics lost last night. The Red Sox were beaten by the Orioles. The Bruins are out of the playoffs, and Tom Brady's not moving back to New England. So it's just which one of those is the worst?
Hang the flags at half-mast in Boston.
Which one of those is the worst right now for what's going on in the?
Well, the Celtics have another chance tomorrow.
They do.
So that's not the worst.
You have to rule that one out. I'd say it's the fact Brady's not coming back.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it's status quo. The Bruins are going to be competitive. They just got knocked out of the playoffs. They were in the playoffs.
Can happen.
The Red Sox, more years than not, are
well, they're really starting to score some runs. I think they scored a lot last night.
They did score a lot.
They just gave up more.
Gave up, yeah. Yep. I can't even remember what it was, but it might have been like 15 to.
Yeah, last I saw, I think it was 12-8.
Yeah, it might have ended that way. I flipped it on for a second, but I wound up watching basketball.
I read the last time Boston and Golden State met in the finals was Wilt Chamberlain against, who would it have been, Bill Russell? Would they have been at the same time?
No, that's a Mike Powell question. They did play at the same time for a while, right? Chamberlain
and Russell, I think they did.
Yeah.
Which would have been, late 60s, early 70s? When would that have been? When was Chamberlain?
Well, Miami has not met Golden State in the final, have they? I mean, that's
no.
I know they're a newer franchise,
but
a newer franchise.
I'm just thinking, two teams that have been there a lot.
When did Miami and Charlotte? I think it came in the same year, wasn't it? I think those two came.
I don't know. Charlotte came in the mid to late 80s.
And Orlando and somebody else were also expansion teams, maybe just a little later than I may have that mixed up, but I think it was Miami and Charlotte, the first ones, and then Orlando and
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't. I'm at a loss right now for that.
When did Toronto came in the 90s? I think.
Well, that might have been who it was.
Well, Vancouver was at it, and then they moved to Memphis.
Right.
Memphis.
Well, they weren't an expansion team. They
wasn't an expansion.
They moved from Vancouver, but Vancouver was, I think they were in the 90s, and now, it came out, I think this week that 2 more. I don't know if they're definitely adding 2 new teams or if it's just in the works, but yeah.
What size
most of the talk is Seattle and Vegas.
Got to have some Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We need the Seattle Supersonics.
They've got to be one of them.
And why not Vegas? Why not add everything to Vegas now?
You got football. Let's go for it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very popular place and fastest growing as far as population goes, maybe in the country. The
only thing I don't like is that probably moves the Western Conference team to the East. I mean, it would have to make it even.
What's Memphis in?
The West.
Yeah, they need to be East.
I think they do too, geographically.
Is that the most logical?
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans.
They're in the West.
That's probably pretty close too. To which one's the farthest.
That's about all I can think of.
I wonder if I don't even know. I don't know why I'm speculating. I just wonder which one they would move if it came down to.
Well, out of those,
moving one of the two.
New Orleans is, I guess, the newer of the two. I don't know. I don't remember when Vancouver moved to Memphis. Charlotte moved to New Orleans when
Yep.
late
Yeah, in the
90s.
90s. Yeah, it was in the 90s.
But New Orleans had a team at one time, and
Yeah.
I don't know what Utah's got to do with jazz, but that's the name they go with. The Utah.
Yeah, you figure they might have changed that sometime over the years, but they never did.
But I think it has
The
a
Canyons.
good ring to it.
does.
Utah
It really,
Jazz.
well, you're just used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
you're
really
used to
think
it now,
about.
so you don't want to see it change. But I guess the Canyons.
And I don't
or
like
something
New
that.
Orleans Pelicans. I don't think that sounds
that's
good.
I don't like that at all.
That's terrible.
No.
That's terrible.
No.
So, which brings us to a good question today, if anybody wants to respond. What's the worst nickname in professional sports? Not the colleges, because there's so many, not the high schools, but the worst nicknames in professional. I don't like nicknames that don't end with an S. Heat,
Yeah, they end up
Magic.
being singular,
Yeah.
or plural,
Yeah.
or collective, yeah.
You can't
always-
you can't set me a Heat right there, but you can put me a Pelican right there.
Yeah, and then you get into the grammar issue. Okay, is that a singular? Is the Heat a singular noun? Do you say the Heat were or the Heat was?
Yeah. And there's probably some people out there that say the Heats.
Well, we got a few high school teams around here.
Yeah.
Stuart Kramer Storm. That's a.
I guess
It doesn't end in S.
nobody said yet, but how about the Guardians?
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Don't like that one.
We got some messages rolling in. It's time for our first time out. I'm going to throw this at you. See if you guys can get our number of the day. Number of the day. What am I talking about if I say 74? Thanks for tuning in to Sports Talk. Back with more in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Was I on there? Glad to have you with us this morning. Beautiful Saturday morning. Today is May the 28th. Is that right? May 28th?
That is correct.
Yep. Less than 7 months to Christmas. You ready?
Well, I'm more ready for August 1st and the start of football practice.
Oh, at first you startled me when you said you're ready for August 1st.
Only because.
But then you continued it. I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
No, everything else about August, no.
I'm just going to go a little farther than that. I'm ready for mid-August when the games start because I don't attend a lot of practices. But,
at least we know it's coming.
Hot, sticky, mosquitoes. It's what else describes
thunderstorms?
Thunderstorms. What else you have that's negatives during
sweat,
humidity.
There's not an air conditioner out there on any of the practice.
It's already 75 by 9 a.m.
Some places have indoor practice facilities though, and they probably are air conditioned. So,
well, I'm covered in sweat just sitting out watching a game in August.
Yeah, I get that way thinking about it.
Even after the sun goes down, a lot of times still.
Oh, yeah.
Some messages that have rolled in. 105 pitches total. If pitcher throws 76 or more, this coming from Lenny. If pitcher throws 76 or more pitches he has in a day, he has 4 calendar days of rest are required. There's no way that they're seeing LeFew. No way East Lincoln's seeing LeFew at all.
Which you got to think is pretty good news for the Mustangs.
He might not have thrown
they'll see him bat.
Oh,
they won't see him on the mound.
I bet he didn't throw that many.
Good hitter. You don't think he threw 76
in 6 innings?
Yep.
I doubt it.
Well,
he didn't have a lot of base runners.
The next step down though is 3 full days rest. So still couldn't.
Still couldn't
pitch.
Does that go to the hour or not? Or to the minute?
No, it's days from what I understand. I don't know
calendar
that, but
days.
I think it's like, if you pitch Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are your 3 full days of rest.
Okay.
And then
not like 72 hours.
Yeah,
not like an even 72 hours.
Right. Yeah, because they'd have to clock what time they got.
What time he came out of the game or the game ended.
Write down the time and then,
At that time, on the third day.
Better hope your watch is not wrong when you put him back in. Off a minute or two.
Yeah, I don't think.
In that case, they could start the game at 8:30 tonight, and they might be all right.
Like Lenny said, you don't think they'll see LeFew, but
it's going to be enough of a
problem. But
don't
know his actual pitch count, and no, we don't. And that's something else I wish was. I hope at some point that'll be public.
Should be.
Yeah,
a spot on the scoreboard.
Yeah, right. But now when you do that. That's a lot of cost involved because either I don't know. I don't even know if you can create spots on a scoreboard that's already there. But the umpire could report it to the press box, and they say that's LeFew's 31st pitch of the game, and then that's all. But
umpires don't do anything to help the press box. You know that.
They'll point and say, and every now and then they'll go.
Yeah.
The umpires don't keep up with pitch count, do they?
I think.
Or do they?
I think. Well. From what I understand, the way the rules are,
scorer.
they both have to, after each half inning, from what I understand,
He asked both
they agree.
sides.
They agree. And I don't know how they agree. I don't know what they do to make sure they have the same count. Because one thing you don't want to do,
If an umpire's keeping it, I would think it would be a one in the field, not the one behind the plate.
Couldn't be.
they're not keeping it.
One behind the plate.
Umpires have too
has
much other
on them.
No,
and
they
the umpires
can't do that.
just have too much. Period.
Yeah.
The only thing the umpire in the field keeps up with is the count on the batter. And then he, because he helps in case that ever comes into
As a
question.
backup.
Yep. But I've seen a game one time where it failed. It didn't happen, and I can't remember how that turned out, but I'm sure there was at least one ill coach involved when that did happen. They couldn't come together because they asked. I think it was a Legion game at Cherryville, and it happened. And Coach Reynolds was the one out there, and because whoever it was told me after the game that couldn't change it because he wasn't keeping the count.
When they get to these playoff series, is it the same crew for all 3 games?
No,
No.
I think it was different last night than it was in 4-man crew.
Yes.
Right now, but I think it was different last night than it was on Wednesday night. I'm 90% sure it was a different crew, and probably be different again.
Yeah.
For the finale coming up tonight. Lenny says Bill Russell had to have played in the middle 60s because I do not remember him playing. Now, Lenny, you're not that young. Let's see. We got a couple things here that have rolled in from Rodney. He is. I wonder if Rodney's got if he does the voice activated or if he types it, because he sent me a 3-page letter here.
It must be voice activated.
The most recent examples of expansion of the NBA are Charlotte Hornets and Miami in '88.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to the Hornets' first ever game, and got the ticket that was in the glass case and all that kind of stuff that they handed out to every fan.
Now, was that at the Charlotte Coliseum?
It was in Charlotte.
At Tyvola Road. The one that was torn down.
Yes. That's
No,
exactly.
was it? I thought it would have been at the Bojangles.
No, they never played in that.
Okay.
It was this was built, I think, for them.
For them.
I think.
So the
once
Coliseum was ready when they played their first season.
I believe so.
Yep. And I'm trying to remember who it was they played in that opener. The first.
Cleveland.
Well, yeah, that's right.
I remember
exactly
the
right.
ticket. I think
it was
had,
you remember seeing my ticket. I don't know where it's at, but I've still got it
Yeah.
somewhere. Minnesota Timberwolves and Orlando Magic came in '89, Rodney says. The Toronto Raptors, Vancouver Grizzlies in '95, who relocated to Memphis, talking about the Grizzlies there, and later on in '01. And the New Orleans Pelicans in 2002. So we did have a year there where just one team came in. I'm guessing that was to balance it out.
Who was it?
New Orleans. Once
that was
just a relocation. That was just relocating too,
Charlotte,
right? Because Charlotte moved there. Yeah, so it didn't add anybody. That's
then
right.
Charlotte was brought in as a new team.
Yep.
Right,
Again,
to
as
replace
the Bobcats.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who was that media mogul's name? Bob
Johnson.
Yep. I was trying to even go on back. I had George Shinn.
Yeah.
On my mind, because he brought the first major sports franchise to the Queen City with the Hornets, and
he was the groundbreaker.
And up and moved them too.
Yeah,
up and moved them.
I think he's sort of viewed with mixed emotions. He was the groundbreaker for professional sports in Charlotte, but then
what is the most famous location move of a franchise in major
pretty easy.
sports?
Baltimore Colts.
I knew that's what you were going to say. I knew you
Robert
were going to say that.
Irsay in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and you were going to say that, but I think I've got one that's bigger than that.
No, what's that?
The Browns moving to Baltimore.
Well,
because since they moved, they won 2 Super Bowls.
Well, what about the Brooklyn Dodgers moving to Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, back in the 50s.
Who? Giants. Mike's Giants also moved from
That's right.
New York to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Some of those moves just stand out, I guess, more. The Raiders, they bounce back all over the place out west.
Yeah.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland,
and
now Vegas. That's it, though, right? The 3 locations, 3 moves in the history of the franchise.
1964 NBA Finals. Boston beat the San Francisco Warriors.
Trying to remember who the big man was for the Warriors. Nate Thurman. Trying to think.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they had Wilt Chamberlain and Nate Thurman.
Yeah.
And Guy Rogers.
Can't believe I pulled that out of my head.
Really.
He was.
That's a good one.
Another Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Boston had 7 Hall of Famers on their team.
Speaking of Boston, guys, I was just flipping around, and somehow I got a YouTube video of Larry Bird in his prime. I'm telling you, I never seen anybody pass the ball
he's
like Larry Bird could pass the basketball.
Yeah. And you know what I remember about more shooting from the corners.
Yeah.
He was just deadly from the corners.
He had a genius about basketball, spacing on the court, where people were. He reminded me, his passing reminded me a lot of Pete Maravich's.
Yeah. I always thought he was like a Harlem Globetrotter.
Yeah.
That could actually go out there and dominate a game.
He could.
You know what I mean? He was flashy like that, and you know, just the way
he
handled
to the
ball,
rim,
passed the
like
ball.
you say, the corner shots, the fadeaways. He could get any shot he wanted. What's the closest thing we've had? I mean, I know he's being compared a little bit to Bird, and that's Luka Doncic. A little bit.
Yeah, but to me, he's more of a point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, he does most of the ball handling for Dallas.
Okay, I'm going to throw the obvious question out there. You know, the big pink elephant in the room, they say. Do you have to be white to be compared to Bird?
That's a great question.
You know? I mean, do you? You don't ever hear him compared to a African-American player, do you? So, I mean, that's just, I mean, I think it's just human nature that when people start comparing him, the only names.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, and has there been anybody in between that you would, you know, relate him to? I don't think so.
Well, first of all, you got to, if you're going to go that way, you got to be close to Bird's height. Bird was what, 6'9"? Doncic is what,
he was
6'7"?
pretty big.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably similar size.
Well,
Luka's a little heavier.
I just don't see a comparison to Bird, and just because of his unique style of play. I don't think
Luka plays really slow. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't do anything fast.
I was impressed by Bird's speed running the court. I didn't realize he was that fast. I mean, his ability to get up and down the court and just leading fast break, making.
Are you saying he was a slow white boy? You thought he was a slow white boy? Is that?
I guess so. I guess I was into that mindset, but hey, anything but.
I'm going to get to a couple of these messages here in a minute that have to do with our number of the day, 74, because Rodney has given me two of his examples of 74. And I was going to say it don't have anything to do with Bridges Barbecue, sits on Highway 74. One of them does. Sits on Highway 74.
Yeah,
so it's not got anything to do with the highway.
Is it something that's happened recently?
Sits on the access road.
Well, that's true. It's almost reachable. But you're right.
You could get close to it from 74.
So what would be the actual address? Would it be U.S.
I don't
Highway
know what
74, or would it
be Bridges Boulevard?
102 Access Road.
Yeah.
State Championship Series exceptions. Pitchers may throw. This is coming from Lenny. This is in the state championship, 2 out of 3 only. And this is because they play all 3 games in 2 days. That's my guess.
Yep.
The exception is the pitchers may throw a maximum of 120 pitches during the state championship series. No rest periods apply to state championship best-of-3 series, which tells me if you ain't trying to protect the arm all the time, what's the use to try to protect it sometimes? I mean, I get it. I get it. I really do. And plus the weather's a lot hotter. You know, usually it's not the cold weather where the guy goes out there and throws 105
it's nothing to do with that.
You know, wasn't it Tony Cloninger that we always go back to, and they
that's
say
the
that he pitched too many
13 innings on a
13
cool
innings,
April.
yeah. And it kind of messed with him back in the day.
I just wish they did the series the same, the regional finals and the championship series.
Let them go ahead and you're saying no pitch counting.
Do it all in 2 or 3 days, and not.
The only
use
reason,
that max of 120 pitches.
The only reason it's 2 days in the state championship is because normally you travel far enough, you got to spend the night.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't. They just
try to limit it to one night.
one or two, depending on your game time. I do remember Nate Thurman. This is coming from Lenny, not from me. Okay. I do remember Nate Thurman, and I'm certain he was born somewhere in North Carolina.
Ooh.
Says Lenny.
Nate Thurman.
So yeah, that's a little bit different for me. Rodney going to the number 74. Merlin Olsen wore number 74 for the Rams back in the day. Underrated Hall of Famer.
A great offensive lineman.
Yep, he was. And offensive lineman?
No, he was defense. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know whether he played tackle.
It wasn't a bad broadcaster either with Dick Enberg. They teamed up for
excellent
years.
Broadcaster.
They teamed up for years. Rodney also says, seems like Watergate was going on in 74.
That's right.
And I wasn't making a Watergate reference either. I'm going to give you guys the biggest hint about that number 74.
It wasn't Hank Aaron smashing. You said it wasn't.
Has to do with high school baseball. Richard Howe says,
I know what it is.
Richard says, I've done 3 Western Regionals, and I always did games 1 and 3 at the same site. Sometimes you have umpires that don't know but there's many factors that could decide this, like location of an event and availability. About getting different crews is what he's speaking about here. No umpires ever keep total pitches. I know that's just too much to keep up with. If there's a disagreement, it goes back to the home book. During the playoffs, they're supposed to compare each inning. And I just love to see it on a scoreboard. Or you can even announce it. I just like to know because, it's something – every fan out there will ask the question at some point in the game, wonder what his pitch count is.
As it gets into the late innings.
Right. I mean, just everybody's wondering.
For some reason, I think I've heard Danny Aker announce number of pitches.
I know he has at times. I know he has at times. And that's probably in the Legion State. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
When they've hosted the Legion State, they probably do announce it because
it's definitely at a Legion something because I haven't been to any Cherryville high school
games.
Who,
by the way, is playing for the 1A West championship tonight.
Against Union
it's
Academy.
A game piece. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I know you're 74 now.
Okay.
Wow,
Don't tell anybody.
Think of it. You said it has to do with high school baseball?
It does. Yep, 74. And no, Mike, the umpires don't worry about the press box, but I try to point in new pitchers or battery as a courtesy. That's what I say. Anytime
it's a courtesy.
Sub, anytime there's a sub that they we'll try and let you know that. Let's see. Lenny says, as John Boy and Billy would say, Bridges Barbecue is on the frontage road.
Frontage road.
So, the frontage road. I don't know if I've heard that term before or not when it comes to time. I still don't have any of our listeners guessing what the 74 is. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into that and just tell you the number 74 is how many runs Randleman in the playoffs has outscored their opponent by.
Okay.
Double check me on the math, Brett.
It's right. Yeah.
And 74. And I guess the real unique thing about that is they've only scored 74. So you know what the opponents have?
Zero.
That is in 6 games.
That's an amazing
6 games in the playoffs.
Wow.
How good is Randleman? They beat this 3A number 1 seed 19-2.
Yeah.
During the regular season. South Rowan was beaten by Randleman 19-2. Whiteville, I don't know what you got.
Would that approach some kind of national record for holding opposition?
Don't jump the gun there. You thought it was a record the other night. The girl with strikeouts against Crest, and she was only good for 8.
Yeah, when you said North Buncombe pitcher had 29 strikeouts against Crest, it's got to be a state record. No.
Here's a good thing for Mike. He said, obviously extra innings.
Yeah. I've always stated the obvious.
But now I'm going to tell you something. There's a way it wouldn't be.
If you walked a bunt.
No.
No? Mm-mm. How could you do it?
Strikeout swinging.
Okay, whoa. I want him to explain to me how walking a bunch would lead to more strikeouts
you
in 7 innings.
You couldn't get 29 strikeouts in a 7-inning game.
Yes, you could. Strike 3, goes to the backstop. Runner goes to first.
Okay.
Strike 3 again, goes to the backstop.
You'd need a bunch of them.
A lot.
A lot.
Well, you'd need 6.
Yeah.
Or 8. Now my math did go
Which would
bad.
be
You'd need
highly
8
unlikely,
to
but
get to
yeah.
29. And you know what? There may have been a couple in that game that did that.
Yeah.
They could have been,
But now the 40 strikeout record was in a 26 inning game.
And you know, I may be wrong. I don't even know if that's the rule in softball. Is it?
I don't know.
You know, like the catcher in baseball's
Yeah.
got to catch third
I don't
strike,
know. That's right.
or
I have no idea.
But I'm I'm questioning myself. Is that the rule in softball? You have to catch third strike. But 29 strikeouts she had, and tops was 40.
Yeah.
And how many innings did that game go? That
It was in
23 or 26.
20, yeah.
26.
Yeah.
It seemed like a very high 26, and it took them 3 days to play it. And I don't know if it had to do with weather, darkness. You know, a lot of softball fields they start at 4 o'clock because 5 o'clock. No lights on the field, so
Weather had to be a factor for it to last 3 days. I could see that.
it's like a cricket game.
I could see running out of light.
I wonder how many
Carried
hours
over one
total
day,
for
but-
that game when you piece it all together for all 3 days.
That would be interesting to know.
7, 8 hours,
Yeah.
maybe.
Surely
Just
not.
guessing.
I mean, but I don't know.
6 hours.
I don't know. I wouldn't even want to speculate because I really don't know. I mean, a normal softball game in the playoffs is 2-1, and it's played in an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it goes pretty quick. I
Hour
mean, these
30,
pitchers are
the
usually
most.
dominant, but when you just keep rolling over innings, and the score of that extra inning game, what did it say? What the score?
I
of
don't
it?
remember.
It was not a high scoring
I
game.
don't even know if it put the score.
Was it 1-0?
Surely not.
I don't know. I don't know if it had the score.
20-some innings, and it's one. Would that? Yeah, that'd be incredible. It wouldn't shock me.
But the fact that the North Buncombe girls, she was 7th, right?
Yeah, 8th.
8th.
I think 8th. They were.
29
Yeah, I think
strikeouts was 8th.
29 strikeouts, and it said that was good for 8th in the state. Now it's not. There are a lot of them obviously tied. You know.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't. She wasn't that far off the. Well, I guess she was. She was 11 off. How many strikeouts was it? I already forgot. Was it 29?
29.
So she's still 11 short.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, she needed 4 more innings.
Unbelievable. But we've talked about it before. These pitchers, when you get that far, they're usually pretty dominant.
No pitch count, I don't guess, in softball.
There is.
They pitch every day.
There
don't they?
is.
Or
I
every
saw
game.
the other day that there is a pitch count, and it's not to do with the game. It's not to do with it's to do with the day, and I think it's 200.
200.
I think if you get to 200, you got to stop in softball. You got to be pulled. So, and who's sitting there in a game and counting to? I mean, think about that. Counting. How many times has that been reached? I guess that's a better question. Maybe none.
200 pitches.
Yeah. You know, that's because in these softball state championships, they'll pitch and they'll win. And you're going to see the same pitcher again.
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10 times, you're going to see the same pitcher take the mound for game 2 that same day.
What I've noticed in college softball, though, they begin to develop some depth in the pitching. They have, pitchers for particular situations.
Mm-hmm.
I know Oklahoma has got 3 or 4 pitchers that they
Well,
use.
of course. I mean, if you're a college, you should have.
Yeah,
You
because
should
you're
have.
playing a lot of games.
And I would think you kind of play them, you pitch them evenly too. You want to see, you don't rely on one.
But you're right. A lot
entire
of high
time.
school teams rely on the one girl, the one pitcher, and that's the pitcher in most of the games.
Butch says he loved it one night in Bessemer City. Tom Brown was umpiring a game and wouldn't answer Lewis Carpenter's call on the press box phone after numerous requests.
It
Says Lewis went ballistic.
It was the Lewis Carpenter press box.
What do you mean it was?
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
It was literally that was the name. That was the
I know,
Lewis.
but you're
Carpenter
saying
press box.
was. Is it not still?
It is still.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking the fact that Lewis is deceased. But
yes, he is. But yeah, that.
You're right. It's still Lewis Carpenter press
Okay,
box.
okay. That's the part I was questioning.
I got it.
I thought maybe why would they change the name? That's what startled me. I thought surely it will and always will be. Is and always will
It
be.
will,
I guess.
is, and always will be.
Okay. They Lewis Carpenter press box. South Brunswick wrapped up their series in the 3A West. You're not going to believe what I almost said. I almost said the 3AA. Well, there is no such thing.
Yeah, that's the East. You did say West.
Yeah, in the 3, I did 3. I had that all wrong. 3A East, 8-1 over South Central. They win that series 2-0, and that's who the East Lincoln South Rowan winner tonight will take on in the 3A championship. And no, don't ask me where, because as far as I know, sites aren't determined till we know who's going. So the sites will be determined.
Do they use 4 different sites? They would have to, wouldn't they? They don't?
2, I think.
2 sites.
Yep. They'll have
2 games Friday.
Yep.
And 4 if necessary on Saturday.
I think that's the way it's done. I think that's
a lot of games in one day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of games in one day, but it's also okay. That's wrong too. There'll only be one game on Friday. There'll only be one game on Friday night, and then there will be whoever starts on Friday. The other group will start on Saturday and go into Sunday.
Okay.
So that's how it works.
So they use Sunday.
Yeah, they use Sunday.
I thought Sunday was only for
I
if
think
they
it's
needed
only,
it because of weather.
Well, it would be. It'd only be. I think it would only be needed if there was a game 3.
Okay.
I think, but not 100% sure of that. But I think that's the format. If you start on, if one class starts on Friday, the other class starts on Saturday, and they play first, obviously, on the day. I'm trying to remember if that's the way it was when North Lincoln
and I
played
would
a
think,
couple years ago, because I watched a Corinth Holders Mooresville game in between North Lincoln.
1A and 3A are usually paired together, at least in basketball.
Yeah, it's always that way.
They could put Cherryville and East Lincoln at the same site if they both happen to win tonight.
If they both make it, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And those sites basically are UNC Greensboro and Zebulon, as far as I know. I mean, that's the two.
So you'd have to hope for UNC Greensboro.
You daggone right. Well, and think about it. Who are the Providence is in, because they swept TC Roberson 2 games to none. So Providence high to Charlotte,
and then Randleman
a little further east, and Randleman's further east from here too. So maybe they would go to Zebulon.
Yeah,
make a little more sense, right? Kind of equal the travel.
I was going to ask Whiteville.
Now Richard says it's all on Friday and Saturday unless rain. So, Richard, do they play 2 games on Friday? I thought they only played 1 game on Friday, and it was like at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening.
And then 2 on Saturday.
Otherwise, you're going to start one at 3 o'clock and have a high school.
1 on Friday and a doubleheader on Saturday.
If East Lincoln makes it, there will be some students that are still in high school in Lincoln County next Friday, so they have to take the whole day off to go.
It's probably graduation day, isn't
it?
Saturday?
Yes. Yeah, next Saturday is. Next Saturday's graduation day. So,
yeah, they should fix that.
I don't know. I'm
You shouldn't have to miss your graduation.
No, you shouldn't.
For baseball.
I agree.
I mean, it's a noble cause, of course, but yes, graduation.
Which one you choosing?
Baseball. But
yeah, I mean, of course. But yeah.
Graduation in jeopardy for some is what Richard says. So they won't get to graduate.
They'll be glad to miss graduation, but
they won't get to graduate. They have to come back the next year.
Yeah. What county is Whiteville in?
Columbus.
Columbus County. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite to Brunswick.
It's funny because I just looked that up the other day because I was wondering, and I knew it was. I was pretty sure it wasn't Brunswick.
Wasn't Brunswick.
Yeah. So I wanted to see,
Which is the coastal.
And then I should have remembered it was Columbus. That, it sure is. Also, other scores that took place. That Randleman outscored their opponents 74-0. They scored 9 on Thursday. You want to guess what community school Davidson scored? I'll let you.
That game actually lasted. It got weather delayed until last night. They finished it last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was 5-0.
And the only thing I'm going on is where it's listed here.
Yeah. You have to look at Thursday's scores to see
that's when it started.
Yeah, it was 5-0 when it got stopped, and then Randleman.
Well, at least Community School of Davidson was the home team because I would have hated to know I'd been outscored whatever it was to nothing, and then had to go back and finish that down 5-0 because
kind of a letdown for Randleman to only score 9 and go full 7 innings.
So if you want something to bet on, here it is. Here it is. Here's what you're going to bet on. In this 2-game sweep of Whiteville coming up next weekend, will Whiteville score?
Is it Whiteville? Is their series over?
I think it is. Well, they won last night or 2 nights ago 8-6. So I'm guessing that their season is over. North Lenore scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th. and lost 8-6.
Mm.
That was almost a pretty miraculous comeback, was it not?
It does have Randleman and Whiteville scheduled to play, so they did win.
Whiteville is this is do this math for me, Brett. 188 divided by 26. Can you do that for me? 188 divided by 26.
7.2.
Okay, so Whiteville's averaging 7.2 runs a game. Okay, and they're 23-3. That's pretty good for. So guess how many runs they're giving up a game? Just over 2. 63 runs in 26 games. But still, I still think that the biggest question is, will Whiteville score?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a team that has not give up a run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
that's a good bet.
I mean, okay, wait a minute. No, that's a good thing to bet on. You can't say that's a good bet.
Yeah,
you didn't tell
a good thing to bet on.
Which way would you bet?
And Whiteville won game 1 5-3. 5-3 and 8-6. They're 2.
So they weren't dominating over their opponent.
I certainly think Randleman will win the series, but I got to believe Whiteville will push at least a run across.
Just because the law of averages say yes, they will. I know, but you know what? I'm not betting anything on something like that. But if it was big money, I don't know which way I'd go. I don't know.
Well, their 3 losses, they scored 2, 1, and 3. So they have not been shut out all year.
They've not been shut out all year. Well, guess what?
They haven't played Randleman.
There's a chance one of these games.
They're probably only going to have 5 innings.
There's a chance
each game, a chance to score in 5
sad,
innings.
Isn't it? I mean,
because
that's how good they are.
Randleman's going to have 10 runs after 5 innings, most likely. Unless Whiteville has a Mackenzie Gore
They've only
type.
give up 6. Okay, they've only give up 60 couple runs all year, though, Brett. Do you not think their pitchers are? And Whiteville's a strong tradition too. I mean, this isn't like.
Has it mattered?
This isn't just like somebody though.
What kind of pitch Randleman has faced?
It's not just like some team that just got there for the first time ever, maybe happy to get there and hadn't give up many runs. Whiteville has as strong, or I'd say a stronger tradition than Randleman.
Yeah, over the years,
right.
If you go back.
In history. They might need Tommy Green to come back, though, and throw some innings who was a Philadelphia Phillies pitcher out of Whiteville. They might need him.
So on the other half, Union Academy versus Cherryville, is it Perquimans or Perquimans?
Perquimans. What'd you say? What was the other one you said?
Yeah,
I was reading.
Yeah, I just wondered how to pronounce that.
Burlington Athletic Stadium and Ting Stadium now are the sites in Holly Springs, according to the NCHSAA website. That's weird because is that not the 2 sites where the tennis state championships were? I think that's where the tennis state championships were. I know Ting is
what is
one
it?
of them. TING. Ting Stadium. And Burlington Athletic Stadium. So I think that's where tennis was held as well. So no more Zebulon.
I guess not.
Which Burlington is a better drive than.
But certainly is for the teams in the West.
And I think Ting might be in that same. It says Holly Springs. I'm trying to remember exactly where that is, but that may be. Richard maybe had to help me with that. But is that not in between maybe Burlington and Raleigh? Holly, I don't really recall on that one, but. Still going to be probably about the same amount of driving for either location. And we still got to say if, we don't have a local team in it yet.
No, not yet.
Nope.
You know, Cherryville's still fighting. They'll play tonight. They lost 10-5 on Thursday night to Union Academy. And, of course, East Lincoln rallied last night with 3 runs late to win their game and even the series at a game apiece and force a game 3 as well.
The Cherryville's at home tonight, right?
Yes,
Cherryville will be at home.
Yeah, they'll win.
And China Grove, North Carolina, will host the 3A. 2A is obviously already decided, Randleman, and the 4A is already decided with Providence High going. Providence, look at their numbers. They would be one to look at and see, check out. I mean, T.C. Roberson's a good team.
Providence is undefeated. I mean, got to be one of the, maybe the best team in the state to be 4A and 31-0, 32-0.
And you do know Randleman's lost a game.
Yeah, to a South Carolina team.
South Carolina team.
Yeah.
They did not lose a game to a North Carolina team there along
Well, then I guess the third best record is probably Perkleman's in the 1A East at 28-1.
28-1. Yep.
Do you realize Cherville is the only team left with double-digit defeats, 20-10?
Yeah, but I can see that out of 1A schools because they
played in the 1A, 2A split conference.
Well, not even that, but they probably scheduled some non-conference games against good opponents
they
too.
Played, I think they played Crest, and they played some others.
Randleman averages 11.3, and they give up 1.5.
Yeah, I was going to say right now they're averaging giving up 0.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how far back that goes. I don't know if they had the final game of the
remember their conference tournament, they won 16-0.
So there's another one.
The semifinal game they gave up a couple runs.
To who? Does it say who? Or do you know? I just wondered who. Somebody from their league, you know.
Is that Uwari?
Uwari
Charter?
Yep.
Yeah, they beat them.
That's who Cherville beat in the second round or third round.
Yeah.
So.
They had a 12-2, an 18-8.
18-8. Somebody scored 8.
Ooh.
On that team.
Southeast Guilford.
We got to give Providence a little love too. Providence beat TC Roberson 10-0 and 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
So they themselves in the first game, it looks like they scored 10 runs on 14 hits in that game, while allowing just 1 hit to TC Roberson. And anybody that follows it knows TC Roberson's history. They got a really strong tradition in high school baseball as well. So does Providence. They've been good for years and years down in South Charlotte, and continue to be. Whiteville 5-3, and what, Brett, was their other score in the
8-6?
8-6. So, not too shabby. So we'll see, and you never know what the competition level is, but for Whiteville or for Randleman. So, but Randleman has been dominant. I mean, it would be. I guess the biggest surprise from this point on would be if Randleman does not win. It does not win the state championship, just because they have been so dominant throughout the entire season. Time for another break. We got to wake Mike Powell up, get him some coffee or something, or eat some more of that
coffee.
Eat some more of that donut.
Give me some donuts. Anything.
Appreciate you tuning in this morning. We will be back with more in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. About to choke on a donut there. But the D3 World Series, Division III, Junior College Division III World Series begins today. I think it's today. Now tell me if I'm wrong, Rodney Willis. I think the start of that is today in Tennessee, Greenville, Tennessee. Of course, Caldwell Community College. Seth Willis will be participating in that, and I'm pretty sure they drew the number one seed when I looked at it the other day.
Yeah, I saw a story somewhere how Frank Pate turned Caldwell Tech into a national power in 3 years or something. I think that was the headline.
Well, they've been terrific all year long. I asked Rodney, I said, are you in Tennessee this morning? And here my answer was no, sir. Currently trimming bushes on Willis Road in Lovely Vale, North Carolina.
No.
So,
okay.
Game starts at 4:30, leaving around noon. Now I'm getting more right here.
He's going to have a full day.
Seth
He's already out trimming bushes.
Seth is on the hill today for the opener.
Wow.
So he'll be the game one starter.
Good luck.
And I'm guessing that tournament started, probably started this morning, like most tournaments do, because I can tell you one team that's playing this morning at 9 a.m., East Carolina, is underway in pool play. They're 2-0, and they are in pool play this morning against Tulane at 9 a.m. I just the thoughts of getting up. Yeah,
that's goes against the grain.
Yeah, the early morning starts and having your team ready to go. But they, if you're wondering how East Carolina stands, they won the first game over South Florida 7-4. They won on day two. They beat Cincinnati, and not the Reds, although they probably could, 15-5. Sorry, Denny and Steve K. And in the first two games, Lane Hoover's 5 for 9 in the first two games. He continues to hitting 364 now on the season. had yesterday off, so that was Wednesday and Thursday, off on Friday because in pool play, everybody gets one day off, and then back at it this morning at 9 a.m. against Tulane.
I wonder how your routine, a baseball player's routine for a 9 a.m. game. Ooh. About like an 11 a.m. kickoff in football.
Yeah, those are pretty sad too, aren't they? But at least it is at least 2 more hours to deal with there.
Well, for East Carolina, luckily for them, that they probably don't have to win today.
Right. Yeah,
No.
yeah, you would think that.
Which I don't guess it's luck. It's because they won their first 2 games.
They probably don't, but there is a scenario where three teams could go 2-1. But you're right. They probably don't have to.
Well, remember the state Legion tournament last year? Wasn't Cherryville 3-0, and then they lost the game, but that knocked them out. They didn't get in the finals.
Yeah, because once you get past pool play,
it's single
one and
elimination.
done. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the pool play at that point. It's one and done.
I just had to remember that they were 3-0.
Rodney says,
yeah, but
first game
didn't
this
they play
morning
Wilmington?
Yeah, well,
they never beat Wilmington.
No.
They don't hardly ever beat Wilmington and have struggled with Fuquay.
Fuquay's
been a powerhouse. Of course, anybody that remembers Garner, Fuquay is the old Garner. So, Northern Essex taking on Herkimer and Northern Essex. That's the first game of the morning in the National Junior College Division III bracket. If you're wondering who Caldwell plays, and Caldwell's going in as the 1 seed, they'll take on number 8 St. Cloud Tech, and I'm guessing
St. Cloud, Minnesota.
That's my guess. That's my guess. The states are not listed beside these names.
Essex,
New York, probably.
New York.
Well, when you said the tournament's in Greenville, I wouldn't. My first guess wouldn't have been Tennessee, but
it's Greenville with an E. So
that's where the tournament. Ferrum?
No, Tuscaloosa.
Ferrum.
Oh, Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
Tuscaloosa.
yeah. Ferrum's in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Don't let Lanny give you these sites. You'll drive to the wrong place.
Speaking of Caldwell, I saw them in the season opener, February 2nd or 3rd, up at Old Walker Stadium against Gaston College. Gaston won that one 8-3, but of course they're in different
I was
divisions.
hoping you were going to give us some. I thought you was really getting ready to tell us something that would shock us, but you just said you saw him play. You
I just wanted to say I saw him play.
Yep.
I was hoping to see Seth, but he didn't pitch that day.
Right. Well, Rodney could probably help me better with this than anybody. My guess is they probably got a 4-man playing like they do, and as much as they do. It'd have to have a 3 or 4-man rotation. So it's just like in the majors.
Even at the junior college level, they usually have 7, 8-man staff. At least 4 or 5 at the minimum, but I've seen more.
And I'm guessing these 8 teams made this. I think there's only 7 regions, though, and then they take a wild card or something like that. And I guess that St. Cloud might be the wild card.
I think in JUCO it's 10 regions across the country. I know in Division 1.
I would guess that's not right, just because I got 8 teams here in the World Series. And wouldn't you get in if you won your region?
Yeah, you may be right.
I mean, I don't know.
I just know that in Division 1, where Gaston plays, there's 10 regions.
Yep. And this is D3.
Could be different, totally.
St. Cloud Tech, Caldwell Tech, Dallas Eastfield, and I'm guessing that's the Dallas in Texas, and Niagara County, which could be New York, upstate New York. I'm not sure about Niagara County. I did see somewhere, and I can't find it now, where all the schools were from. Herkimer, Northern Essex, Oakton, and RCSJ Gloucester. And Gloucester's in Massachusetts.
Yep.
So as long as that's the same Gloucester that I'm familiar with.
Gloucester or Gloucester?
I think it's Gloucester.
Okay.
And or Gloucester.
Gloucester.
If you're from up there, but so
Fishing.
What's the famous ship the movie was made about it? That's the port it left from, and it sank, and the George Clooney movie.
Oh yeah, was that the Perfect Storm?
Perfect Storm. Yeah,
I was thinking Titanic,
that went
famous
out of
movie
there.
about a ship that sinks.
Yeah, I'm talking about the real famous movie.
That did not leave out of Massachusetts.
Perfect Storm.
Yeah, that's just a secondary. Titanic's a secondary movie there. But Rodney says there are 21 regions. Wow. So everybody don't get in. I guess it's just maybe the top regional winners.
Wow, 21
in
regions.
the country.
God.
And then Caldwell's Region 10 had to go to CCAC Region 20, which was the Allegheny County team in Pittsburgh, I guess, and play for the Mid-Atlantic District Championship. So that was two regional winners getting together, basically playing to get into the World Series. So
it makes me think.
So all the regional winners do get opportunity, but you have
Yeah.
to win your
Yeah, it makes me think
district.
that there's more than 10 regions in Division 1 then, if
Maybe.
there's 20 in Division 3.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, like, look at how many smaller schools there are, in
You'd be
just
amazed.
across the country compared to, D1s. It's quite a huge number.
Yeah, there's just so many schools. I mean, I remember Denmark Community College of Denmark, South Carolina. That's one that Gaston played in basketball.
They play in Copenhagen?
Yeah. Place called Denmark, South Carolina. I don't know exactly what that is. But
I bet there's a big difference in Denmark, South Carolina,
yeah.
and in the country Denmark.
There was also a school, Richard Bland Community College.
He's
somewhere
kinda
out of
dull.
Virginia. Really dull. Bland.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that name several times.
Yeah.
Of different teams that have played them.
Yeah.
I guess most notably CVCC and Gaston.
played them,
CVCC would have played them as well. Yeah, Bland. That great name.
And, of course, my favorite, Cape Fear.
I would love to know
Community
what Richard Bland Community
did.
College nickname is.
Yeah.
Is it boring?
Yeah. I can't remember what their
That'd be another
mascot name was.
That'd be another one of those that don't end in an S. Nobody ever said anything about the worst professional nicknames. NCHSAA baseball record book. Most consecutive shutouts. Charlotte Catholic, 10 in 2011. This is Lenny. But the site I'm looking at is not updated with this year's stats, so that record could be blown out of the water. So there you go, Brett. How many does – I know this is a Randleman thing.
Yeah.
So how many does Randleman have? If 10 is in the record book, Charlotte Catholic did it in 2011. We know they've got 6.
Yep, we do.
I wonder how many more they've got. Well, 7, because you said it goes back to the championship game of the conference tournament. So that means they've got at least 7.
Go to Max Prep.
They've got 7 in their last 7 outings.
Wow.
7 shutouts.
I think they blew that one to pieces then.
Well, you never know. You never know. He already told me some games where they had give up some runs. 24 regions. Rodney sent me a link, but I got a feeling if I open that link, that'll be a novel that I'll have to check out after hours here.
What were the number of shutouts?
Number of shutouts that Randleman has this year. Just the total number. We know 7 straight, right? The last 7 games have been shutouts for Randleman, which is unbelievable. And I would like
16.
16?
Yep.
Well, there goes that 10.
Yeah.
16 out of 32.
16 out of their 32 games have been shutout wins. And 31 of their 32 games have been wins. And, yes, the only loss that they suffered all year was South Carolina team. The name escapes me right this minute. I remember reading it a couple times. But very, very, very impressive run here for Randleman. If you didn't know, East Lincoln was defeated in Game 1 in 6 innings, 11-1 down in South Rowan in China Grove on Wednesday night. Thursday's game was rained back, pushed to Friday, and the Mustangs did win last night in come-from-behind fashion. Score 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th, win 6-4 to force Game 3, which we'll have for you tonight at 7 o'clock from China Grove. First pitch scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight. Game 3, the deciding game. Also, Cherryville, Mike Powell will be taking on Union Academy. Union Academy even the series. Both these games have kind of been lopsided. I think Cherryville scored some late to make this one a little more respectable the other night, Mike, 10-5. But didn't Cherryville win the first game?
10-1.
Yeah, I thought they won the first game pretty handily. So,
Yeah.
you know, I know the home teams are going to be favored in these. Cherryville's going to be favored tonight. South Rowan's going to be favored. But you know what? It is baseball, and anything can happen in these games. So, and that is the only two baseball out of the 4 that went to a deciding game 3. Two out of 4. I guess that's not bad.
So Cherryville trying to get back to the state championship series for the first time since 2016.
Is that right?
When they defeated Whiteville.
So a 5-year absence. Defeated Whiteville and Mackenzie Gore.
That's right.
Right? Now a San Diego Padre. Not just in their organization. He is a San Diego Padre. He's already up in the big leagues throwing for the Padres.
Looks like Richard Bland or the Statesman.
Statesman, yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty bland.
We played another team called Patrick and Henry.
Patrick and Henry.
Yep. Or no. Patrick, was it Patrick Henry? I don't know whether the "and" was in there or not. I
know it makes sense. Maybe his
Mick Henry.
Maybe his middle initial was N. Patrick N. Henry. There is a what is Emery and Henry? Maybe you got it confused. You know, there's a Emery and Henry.
That is true.
But I would think Patrick.
Patrick was in the name of the team.
No, there is a Patrick and Henry Community College in Martinsville,
Virginia.
Martinsville, Virginia.
Learn something new every day.
Yes, sir.
Patrick and Henry.
Patrick and Henry Community College.
Okay, is that obviously we take that to be first names, and I bet it's not. I bet it's not. But they can both also be last names, and I just wonder.
Yeah.
They're counties. It's what the school's named after. 2 counties: Patrick County and Henry County.
Henry County.
But those counties are named after somebody.
Yeah.
Who was it? What was it that Patrick Henry said? Give me liberty or give me death.
Get me down from here. Yes, that's right. Give me liberty or give me death.
One of the famous sayings of the American Revolution.
Do you know which one he got?
I'm hoping. Well, I don't know.
I'm guessing death.
Yeah.
But I can't remember for sure. It's been a while since.
No, he died in 1799, so he got liberty.
He got liberty until.
Okay, so
yeah.
Yeah. Well, so when was the famous word spoken then?
Probably leading up to the Revolution.
1775.
Okay.
Yeah, 75.
So not 1799.
No.
1 minute prior to death, right? So good for him. Got to live a few more years.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking on here just to see.
So that's who the counties are named after.
Is it really?
Patrick Henry, yeah.
Okay.
The counties are Patrick and Henry County. And
so all of it's named after one guy.
One guy, Patrick Henry.
That's pretty nice.
But Emery and Henry is a totally different thing.
Isn't that in Georgia?
Yes.
Is it in Atlanta area maybe?
No, that's just Emory.
Okay. See, this is confusing.
I'm confused.
Just Emory.
All these Henrys.
So when Henry went along with Emory, we got a different college.
Yeah, that's while we're on baseball. I got a good trivia question for our listeners.
Throw it out there.
You remember the famous Chicago White Sox, the 1919 scandal? And they later became known as the Black Sox.
Was it 19 or 18?
Well, I'm not sure which. I thought it was 19. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
That should be our first trivia question, then.
Who did the White Sox play in the World Series that year? That was a trivia question the other night at Brick Tree.
And shouldn't that just jump off the page to you?
Well, we didn't get it, so.
And while we're on the subject of baseball, and see, that was a movie. What was it called?
Field of Dreams.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, Major League, not Major League.
What was the name of that movie of the White Sox scandal?
What was it?
That's where I was
drama.
Going. 8 Men Out.
8 Men Out. Yep. That's right.
And but I'm glad you. I mean, that's where I was going anyway. Was to Field of Dreams, and we lost Ray Liotta this week.
Who played Shoeless Joe Jackson as a ghost? Came back. If you build it, we will come.
You know, his most famous role is Goodfellas.
Henry Hill. He played the monster.
Henry Hill?
Henry Hill.
Man, got his name over there.
The first line of the movie, since I was 12 years old, I always wanted to be a gangster. And the movie starts.
Okay, and whose character is that? Is that his?
That's Henry Hill.
As a kid.
Okay,
As a kid.
That's his.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's not as a kid, but he's
narrating himself.
talking about. Yeah, the movie starts out with him as a kid.
As a kid, yeah, when he's like 12 or something. Yeah.
Ray Liotta.
But I think it actually says as long as I can remember,
As
or as
long
far
as
back as I can remember.
As
or
long as I
something
can
like
remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. Not since I was 12. You're right.
Yeah, well, that's even further back. I would think.
Yeah.
I could think you could remember further back than 12.
And it's based on the life of a real gangster type guy, Henry Hill.
Brett, guess Ray Liotta's middle name. And I just singled you out just because it's
Anthony.
It's going to be an inside joke. No, Alan.
Alan.
That was Brett's suggestion to name our dog Alan because you don't see too many.
Ray
dogs.
Allen, that's good.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, he is Ray Allen.
How about
Ray
Edgar Allan Poe?
Ray Allen. For my dog's name?
Yeah.
It's too much to say.
Okay.
He's named after John Dutton. His name is Dutton.
I got it. I love that.
Or Beth Dutton.
Henry Hill or Beth Dutton. No,
He acts more like Beth Dutton.
yeah, but he don't cuss near as much. If he could talk, he might. Yep. Lenny says Henry Hill.
Yep.
Rodney says they were playing the Reds.
That's right.
There you go.
Got it, Rodney. Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
Legs. Red legs.
The White Sox were playing the
I
Cincinnati
can't believe
Reds.
we missed that at trivia. I just could not.
I wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have got it.
just,
I mean, honestly, I've only seen that movie one time, and it's when it was new. So what year was that? I mean, what year would that have been when that movie?
Probably in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, and you'd have to guess a team that's been around.
Yeah,
Right.
it's got
For
a
a
team that's been
long
around
time.
100 years.
Yeah.
Or more. And I kept wanting to say Cardinals.
Was Cincinnati the first Major League Baseball team formed? For some reason, when you said
I don't know.
that made me think that
Maybe.
they might have been the first
You're right
one.
there.
And you know, it used to for many years, it in Major League Baseball, Cincinnati always played the first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if 8 teams played, nobody played till Cincinnati had their game started. If no, you know, Cincinnati would always open the Major League season. I just wonder if it was because they were the first Major League. Here's what I've always wondered: if you're the first Major League team, who do you play?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You have to wait. You have to wait for the second Major League team.
Yeah, 6 years later,
You
they
just
play their
practice.
first game. I guess they travel around. They're a Major League team. They're getting paid, and they travel around and play all-star teams in different towns till another one is formed. But I'm not even 100% sure that they were the first Major League team. But it just seems like I recall that they are. That they were the first Major League. Just like we know the Bears came along before the Packers, right? The Bears have been. They were the first.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were the. Are they the ones named Decatur something? You know, when it first started or something like that. You know, the Bears were the
Decatur, Illinois.
Acme Packers.
Yeah.
Because of sponsorship or whatever, but here we go.
Certainly the Bears have a longer history than Green Bay. I mean, just in terms of longevity.
John Cusack played the character. I guess he means the main character in 8 Men Out.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
That's why I say it's been so long since I watched it that I can't. There's no way I remember the
But
details.
they played that as a drama, not a comedy like Major League and some of the others.
Oh no, it was not a comedy.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be based on facts, and I can promise you, those facts are real. That's not comedy at all. Okay, the reason I brought up Ray Liotta and wanted to make sure you and Mike and Brett would confirm for me his most famous role was in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Is because I remember him the most for another movie I watched with him in it.
Well, he was in a lot of movies.
He was in a lot of movies, but there was, and I'm trying to search his list so I can get you the actual name and not botch it. But it was Wild Thing or something like
Something Wild.
Something Wild.
Yeah,
There you go.
That was
That's
his
awesome.
breakthrough film.
That was awesome. It was one of the brother actors. Which one was it? It wasn't the Bridges. It was
Baldwin?
not Baldwin. I don't think it was Bridges. It was
It wasn't one of the balls.
Jeff Daniels. It's either Jeff Daniels or Jeff Bridges. It wasn't Jack Daniels, but
could have been Jeff.
although
Jeff Daniels.
I think that's who it was. That's the guy that was in Kingpin, right?
Yes, he was.
Brett's shaking his head, but he's questioning himself.
I'm trying to picture Jeff.
Blonde-headed.
Yeah.
Now, who's the one in Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, that's it.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Okay, so which one's in Kingpin? Who's the crazy guy in Kingpin that sits in the urinal?
Yeah, that's not Jeff
Daniels. Okay. Well, anyway,
Jeff Daniels is in Something Wild.
He is in Something
Wild.
Okay. So that we do have that name right. That's all I care about. It was just a crazy movie where I don't even know how to explain it. How would you explain the story behind that movie? It was a guy who basically abducted another guy, and I don't even know who the girl belonged to. I can't remember now, or who the girl was in the movie. But he was just beating the crap out of him all the time. Handcuffed him to a sink and held him hostage. It was typical Ray Liotta role. I mean, he's always been known for the bad guy.
And he said later on in his career, said he started trying to play roles that were completely against type because you get into that and that's your character forever in every film. So
Kingpin is Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, okay.
Well, he is a wild man.
There are a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
And actors, have you noticed that? A lot of family tradition.
Well, I guess the most famous would be, Jeff Bridges and Beau Bridges, sons of Lloyd Bridges, who was also an actor.
Yep. What about...
of course, the Baldwin brothers.
Douglas, isn't there a... I'm thinking wrong.
Michael Douglas.
Well, his father, of course, was a great.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of his name. That's the one. Kirk Douglas. Yes.
Kirk Douglas.
Yes. Yep. That's pretty.
Been a lot of father-son.
Yeah. Yep.
Acting.
You're thinking of the Quaid brothers, says Lenny.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But
Randy Quaid.
Randy and
Quaid.
Dennis.
More famously, Cousin Eddie from
That's his
Vacation
role.
movies.
But he kind of went off the grid in his last sort of. I don't know. He's had a lot of problems. Randy Quaid.
A very different kind of actor than Dennis Quaid.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have seen this role out of Ray Liotta. I finally got his movies here to pull up. Muppets from Space.
Yeah, you see.
What would Ray Liotta?
No.
He had to be a villain.
Yeah.
There's no way that guy can be the good guy.
But he just wanted to do different things.
Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
He was in Wild Hogs. That was pretty good too. Yeah, but I'm telling you guys were right. I mean, there's a list here of movies that he was in. It's probably
he worked a lot.
Probably 50 deep. 50 different movies or so.
One of my favorites is
animation.
Blow, and he's not the main guy. It's Johnny Depp.
Right.
Is
Blow Up.
Boston George Young.
Blow. Yeah.
Ray Liotta plays his dad in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next Johnny Depp movie is going to be about a real life divorce. It appears. So.
The more this goes on, it just becomes a comedy of the absurd. I mean, wow.
Who's going to take his place as Captain Jack Sparrow?
Who? Not Ray Liotta.
You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Oh, I'm not a Rock fan at all.
The Rock would take Johnny's place.
Yeah. Can't play a pirate like Johnny Depp can, though, can he? Nobody can. I wouldn't think.
Well, he's not. He's done. He's not going to be in that franchise anymore for sure. Or probably not in any movie.
You don't think?
No.
Is he not going to have to make some money?
He might be. Even though he's made $600 million in his life,
he might have to be working year round.
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah, and somebody asked me yesterday. I won't call his name out. If I have been keeping up and watching that, and I said, no, it don't really. That trial and all that kind of stuff just don't really appeal to me, at all. So, and have you guys? Mike's got a lot of time on his hands. He may have been watching a little bit.
I kind of keep up with it. I don't watch the trial, but I keep up with stories about it.
Yeah, I just see headlines.
Yeah, headlines.
That's about
all I'll say is the guy that was telling me about it was describing, and he goes, "Is 2 words. She's crazy."
That girl crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think Johnny Depp's a little crazy
he's
too.
A little crazy.
Oh yeah, he is. Yep.
Of course, you know the revelation that came out of that.
I don't guess I do.
I'm sure Brett does. The story about Amber Heard defecating on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Mike would go there.
Yeah. I said, well, I dressed it up. I said defecating. Obviously.
So that can actually be dressed up.
It's just been.
Oh. All right, let's take our final timeout. We'll come back, take a look at Major League Baseball. What's going on in the world of Major League Baseball as we approach getting close to, we probably played about 30% of the season. Back with more in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. David, Mike, Brett with you here on a Saturday morning. Rodney Willis says, have a great day. We're going to start listening to the World Series broadcast now, so he's leaving us and going to listen to that JUCO World Series taking place over in Tennessee. He says, I sent you the link a little earlier, and yes, he did. He's got me a link to that kind of stuff. Let's see. Lenny says, as Barney would say, Johnny Depp is a nut, referring to the Ernest T. Bass, who he always referred to as a nut. I thought Ernest T. was well-educated young man, and not so much of a nut. Let's see, Major League Baseball from Friday night. Thank you for putting that one up there first, ESPN.
Yeah,
Orioles.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Orioles, 29 hits in this game last night. Orioles over the Red Sox, 12-8. Boston had climbed to within 2 games of 500 after a horrible start before last night's loss. Orioles win at 12-8.
Boston was up 8-2 in that game.
Well, yeah, that's the sad part. Orioles erased 6-run deficit against the Red Sox bullpen.
They scored 10 in the last 3 innings.
Yeah, their starting pitching is not bad. I've watched them this year enough and Lenny would probably agree. Their starting pitching is not bad at all. But if you get into the bullpen, they're not going to hang on and win many games, especially if you blow a 6-run lead. The Reds beat the Giants. Mike 5-1 last night. Reds Ashcraft lives Reds over the Giants amid Kapler's anthem protest. I saw that on Twitter at some point last night.
Yeah, Gabe Kapler, the Giants manager, refused to come out for the playing of the national anthem.
In protest of the school shootings?
School shootings, okay. Yeah, I think.
So sad during the week.
Yeah.
The Yankees beat the Rays last night 2-0. If you're going to hold the Yankees to 2 runs, that's the games you got to win. And when you're
how about this part of
the Yankees,
the Reds Giants? Tommy Pham of the Reds slapped Jock Peterson of the Giants.
Slapped him?
Wow.
On the field before the game, alleging the Giants outfielder cheated in their fantasy football league.
Now we got a story.
Major League Baseball is investigating.
It's fighting.
And Pham was scratched.
He'll be suspended.
After a pregame rain delay.
He will be stuck in a cell with Will Smith.
A slap? Yeah. I mean.
I've never heard of anything like that. Because they're in a fantasy league together.
He's been waiting on this series since the beginning since the end of football season. He's been waiting to see Jock Peterson.
And you would think it would, if anything, it would simmer down and he would say, I won't do it. Evidently, it's been building up. Wow. I've never heard that's the craziest story the craziest story I've heard in a while. Because the guy cheated in the fantasy football league. Ooh. You wait till you see him and you slap him before the game. So benches didn't clear or anything, or maybe the teammates.
I guess no one was on. I don't know. I don't know if maybe not many people saw it. I don't know.
Maybe teammates knew he cheated and said, "You need slap. You don't cheat in our fantasy football league." That's amazing. That's amazing.
The one thing you can't do.
I can see. It'll be a great Saturday Night Live skit. Because somebody cheated in the fantasy. The bad thing is, and the reason it won't make SNL is because the players aren't that. They're just. They're not household names.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Now, if Mike Trout walked up and slapped Bryce Harper or vice versa, because they'd probably be on the news for 24 hours straight. But yeah. That is so weird. Yeah, that's a storyline in itself. Did not know that. Where did you see that?
On the Scores app. It's part of the headline.
Wow.
Or part of the.
Well, there's a lot of
the first.
A lot of extra narrative.
First paragraph of
the
story.
And you said San Francisco and Cincinnati, and I would love to see the Cincinnati newspaper this morning if it had if they've got something about that on the.
How do you think the New York Post would treat that? That headline?
I don't know. It may be on there.
Yeah.
Because they do a sports front page too.
Yeah.
So it may be on that sports front page. We'll have to check that out at some point. Left with this one, the Yankees beat the Rays 2-0. 4th straight win for the Yankees. The Mets beat the Phillies 8-6. That seems like I say that every Saturday. Mets beat the Phillies. Have they just played each other?
They played
over
a
and
lot,
over and over.
seems like.
And you had told me that the Mets had won every series 2-1. Or I think they had played 3 series, and now this is the 4th already. 8-6 last night. The Mets get to win. The Mets are already at 30 wins on the season. I don't even know if they had 30 last year. Don't seem like it. Braves beat the Marlins. Come from behind to beat the Marlins. I did see some of that one. 6-4 last night. The Twins over the Royals 10-7. Cardinals over the Brewers 4-2. Blue Jays over the Angels 4-3. Seattle over Houston 6-1 last night. Let's see. Mariners hammer Verlander for 4 home runs last night. And I would be interested to know, did our Smoky Mountain friend Cal Raleigh hit one of those home runs last night? For his bat had finally came to life over the last couple of weeks.
0 for 4.
Was he?
Yeah.
0 for 4? Well, so much for that. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 6-4. I believe that was a Bumgarner loss.
It's his 8th straight loss to the Dodgers.
Is it? You don't like that, do you?
Not like the old days.
And 12 out of 14 decisions against the Dodgers he has lost.
Wow.
They're haunting him in his dreams.
They've got his number, that's for sure. Let's see, the Pirates and the Padres. It was the Padres coming out on top 4-3. Quietly, to me it's quiet anyway. They're so far away, but quietly, the Padres 29-16.
Yeah, they're
really
good.
Record.
They don't get a lot of publicity, it don't seem like, but they were good last year, and they have continued. And still no Tatis?
No,
Not
not
back
yet.
Not back yet. Rangers beat the A's 13-5. There were 2 rainouts, one in Washington and one in Detroit. The Rockies and the Nationals rained out, and the Guardians and the Tigers were rained out in last night's Major League Baseball action. The Yankees lead I guess they lead all of baseball in wins. With
that's the best record.
33-13. Leading the American League East. They would lead the National League East too, but they lead the American League. It'd be a much tighter race, though, with the Mets. Tampa is 6.5 back, then Toronto, Boston, and Baltimore. Minnesota leads the Central at 28-18. 5 games out are the White Sox. I still think the White Sox are going to make a run. That's a really good team and a really good roster, and they've had a couple of injuries, that guys are going to come back. And fortunately for them, during the injuries, they haven't fallen too far behind. So I think they'll make a run at some point. Cleveland, Detroit, and Kansas City, anywhere from 7.5 to 12 back. Astros lead the West 29-17, followed by the Angels, who are hanging in there just 2.5 games out. Texas, Seattle, and Oakland. Mets 30 wins, 30-17. While New York has struggled in the sports world, the baseball is pretty good.
Yeah.
The baseball is pretty doggone good. Both teams in first place.
Yeah, they certainly had their football, basketball.
Football's been ridiculous.
But yeah.
And basketball. The Mets are 30-17. The Braves are 7.5 out. Phillies 8.5. Marlins 10, and the Nationals 13.5. In the Central, it's the Brewers on top, 29-17, followed by the Cards, the Pirates, the Cubs, and the Reds. The West, the Dodgers still with the best record, even though the Padres are right there and won't go away. 31-14 for the Dodgers, followed by the Padres, who are just 2 back. The Giants 6.5, the D-backs 9, and the Rockies 10.5. Rockies are the one team that really cooled off over the last couple of weeks, 3-7 in their last 10. And you're not going to keep pacing that division long, going 3-7. That couple very top heavy. I mean, 3 teams over 500.
And the Giants have been dipping, only 4-6 in their last 10 games.
Yep. And you can see those Dodgers and Padres combined 15-5.
What's amazing to me, the Dodgers have outscored their opponents by 116 already.
At this point, yeah.
And you look at the Mets, whose record is pretty similar.
Yep.
Only 47 run differential.
Yep, you're exactly right. And even and
the Dodgers, I mean, they've been scoring A lot of runs. They got shut out one night this week, but
and still scored a lot.
They played.
After that, I mean, other than the shutout.
They did.
Yeah.
They scored 10 and then 9, and then they got shut out, and then they scored 14.
And that's the sign of a good team is you can take the shutout and come back.
Thursday night they scored 14 runs on 24 hits.
You know, the Yankees with the best record only have a 75 plus 75 run differential.
Yeah,
so-
they played a lot more low-scoring games, less than you'd think. But
Yeah, I know.
Their pitching's been good.
Yep, you expect them to outslug the other team, but you're right. They have had, just like last night, a 2-0 win. Lenny says, I saw Vance Honeycutt hit 2 home runs for UNC last night against Virginia Tech in Charlotte. Made third-team All-ACC as a freshman. You guys familiar with Vance Honeycutt? You know who that is? Who that was?
Yeah, I just asked you about him
Yep,
a
you
week
did.
or so ago.
That was the really good quarterback for Salisbury.
Oh,
The
year they won it.
Yep, the year they won. Yeah, a couple years ago when they won the
and
state.
he broke the the UNC freshman home run record about a week ago.
Yep, he's a major leaguer. Very, very good chance he's a major leaguer one day. Third team All-ACC as a freshman, 2 home runs last night for UNC against Virginia Tech. And I'm going to ask you, Lenny, because I've not looked it up. Was Virginia Tech the 1 seed?
I think they were.
Yeah. And I don't even never think about them as a baseball.
No.
When I think college baseball, Virginia Tech's one of the last teams to come to mind. But I think
although we will be watching them more carefully in the future.
Yes, we will, because that's where Garrett Michelle,
That's right.
the
You
power
think
hitter from East
State,
Lincoln's going to play.
Louisville, Miami is good.
Carolina.
Florida State's been
Always.
good
Yep.
off and on.
Yep.
Yeah, Carolina been in some World Series.
Lenny says they were the top seed in this team.
And Notre Dame's been good recently, last few years.
All right, we're about out of time. Lenny says, talking about Tatis, he was cleared to start throwing this week. Hope to have him back sometime in June or early July if everything goes okay. We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning, but it's breakfast time. We're headed out of here. For Mike Powell and Brett Keever, I'm David Keever. See you next week.